Hey, how are
Okay,
you,
good.
Victor?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me
Yeah,
today to have an affirmation conversation with me.
absolutely.
Today, we're going to talk about the affirmation capable. You are
Capable.
joining us today from California by way of New Jersey. Please
That's
tell
right.
me
That's
how in
right.
the world you managed to go all the way from the East Coast, literally,
Yeah,
to the West Coast.
yeah. So that is a long story. I grew up. I was born and raised in New Jersey. Moved to Florida at about the age of 13. Right. Parents decided, it wasn't a good area for us to grow up in. At least raise their kids. Right. It was in Passaic/Patterson, New Jersey, North Jersey. Right. A lot of crime around that area. They moved us over to Orlando, Florida after that.
Nice.
Went to high school there. Had a good group of friends, but it's kind of like a feeling of a black hole, right? It's like if I didn't get out of there, I was going to stay stagnant and just end up working at a car wash, doing something,
You
that
could
my
have
friends
been,
are doing.
you could have went to work at Disney World.
Yeah, like 90% of Orlando, yeah. But I'm like, I wanted something else. I wanted something different. So I was like, you know what? I had a buddy of mine who joined the Marines, and I'm like, let me see what all this is about. Talked to his recruiter, and he was like, hey, yeah, we can, send you here, send you there. He told me all about the possibilities. I drank the Kool-Aid per se. I jumped in full force and joined in with another friend of mine, which made it easier, right? Doing the buddy
Mhm.
program. So we went in together, and then, lo and behold, I've always wanted to go to California. That was like my top thing that I've always wanted to do, right? Like, big goals, right? So finishing MOS school, I opted to go to Camp Pendleton, California. So I like the taste of it, and I'm like, you know what? This is it's a good spot. I like the area. So I did California twice, did overseas a couple times, North Carolina, and then ended up here back in California, back where I first started. So yeah, I mean it's been an adventure, but I'm glad to be back in California and not North Carolina or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, the good thing about the Marines, I mean, I'm in the Army, obviously, and no
Yeah.
offense to the Army, but we do have a lot more duty locations. So you're able to
Yeah.
have a little more stability. So, and you're now
Yes.
19 in your career. So
Yep.
congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It looks like you have at least you and your wife and your three children have at
Mhm.
least been able to spend most of it in Cali. So that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So Cali and I think we out of all the places we've been, I think we like Japan the best. Japan
Oh,
and Hawaii, of
was it
course.
Okinawa? Okinawa?
No, no. So it was mainland Iwakuni. So
Ooh.
we went to Okinawa just for like a space age travel type thing, but
Mhm.
we were in mainland. So mainland Iwakuni, Japan, is about 30 minutes away from Hiroshima. So we got to
Wow.
go over there, see like all the atom bomb dome and all that stuff. Tons of history out there.
Yeah, I
But
was just
yeah,
about to
just a great
say,
place. Yeah,
one thing
great place
about
to
the
be at.
military is, no matter what small town or city you're from,
Yes,
you will definitely get to know a lot of, of the world if you give the military service a try.
absolutely.
I mean,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to get through your bio. You, first of all,
Yeah.
I would call you an artistic
Mhm.
entrepreneur.
Yeah. I guess I've never heard that one, but yeah, yeah. I guess
You
it makes
are.
sense.
So okay. So first of all, you're one of your former, I want to use the word side hustle, but then it feels like I'm doing a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Your former side
Mhm.
hustle was Side Hustle Military Podcast. What was that all
That's
about?
right. That's right. So I started that back in, I want to say 2019/2020. Um, so I've had a side hustle ever since I could remember, right? In high school, in middle school, throughout my Marine Corps career. Um, so I thought, I've acquired so much information over this time. Um, I almost felt bad not letting other people know how to do these things, right? And I'll give you a quick example. When I was out in Iwakuni, Japan, I started a heat press business, right? So it literally was, the youth sports, the coaches and all that stuff. So I became one of the coaches. I saw that they gave us a bag saying, "Hey, look, if whoever wants a name on the back of their jersey, we have a guy off base who does it." I think he was charging like 13 or $15, something like that, in yen, right? Equivalent of
Mhm.
yen. and with a 2-week turnaround. And I was thinking, okay, well, let me collect all the jerseys. Everybody wanted some stuff, their name on the back of the jersey. I went to this guy's shop and I dropped them off, and he had a whole room just full of bags, right? Because he not only did he do on-base jerseys, he did, off base, all the local Japanese, youth sports. So I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? In my head, I'm just thinking numbers,
Sure.
20 jerseys per bag. He's got like 50 bags here, just like, it's just clicking. So I'm thinking, okay, let me look into a heat press machine. Let me see how I can get the vinyl lettering, and I ordered all this stuff. I paid a little bit more because it was in Japan, right? I had to ship it over here from the US. But I started the whole heat press business. I think I charged like $10. I showed up to the coaches meetings. I did a 2 or 3 day turnaround, gave the coaches a free jersey if they went with me. And, over the course of that maybe a year or two, it was like 20 grand. It was a good
Wow.
little side hustle, right? Good little side hustle.
Wow.
So I figured, I acquired all this knowledge. I can't just hold on to it. Other people need to know about it.
Yeah.
How to do things within your, vicinity. If you're overseas, how I did it. If you're stationed in North Carolina, whatever your situation may be, anybody can have a side hustle.
That's right.
Because I'd never liked to limit myself to one source of income. I think, it feels good waking up to sales on your phone, right? To seeing like,
I know that feeling.
So
I tell my husband, I'm like, yay. He's
Yeah.
retired, right? So he's basically been retired from the military
Right.
since 2020, but in late 2019 is when he went on, the terminal leave. So I wake him up in the mornings as I get ready to, go to work in the Pentagon or whatever. And even if I get a $20 sale, I'm like, yay, yeah, I got a sale.
It's exciting.
It's exciting, and
Yeah.
it motivates you to just keep on going. So I completely understand exactly how you feel. So you basically mentioned so many good things in telling that story. You told people, scan the market, look for, a hole in the market to where that you can capitalize off of it. B, find like a skill or a talent that you have and capitalize off of it. Like this is how I feel, and this is how I feel about you, especially because you're an artist. You are a business. Learn what you're good at, figure out how you can sell it to somebody and capitalize off that. I absolutely love that you explained that. I mean, look at you, you're like, okay, he has the business and he's probably going to still get the business, right? He probably has like that longevity, that history, that name, but now like you are a competition and you're giving them what they need faster and for less price, but the value is still good. The value is still good.
Yeah, so they're still getting the same kind of deal, right?
And
it's funny you mentioned the art as a business, because I never actually thought of it like that until like this year, because it was always a private thing for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like the artist thing. Like I have like a closet just full of sketchbooks, and my daughter does too. And we share that talent together. And it was always a private thing, and not until this year where I'm sitting there painting something in my living room, and my wife is like, why don't you market that? Why don't you tell people about that?
That's right.
And I thought to myself, like, because it's always been something I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to do it for I don't want it to become a business per se, right? Because it's something internally that I enjoy doing, right? It's my outlet. But then, I started showing other folks, and they're like, oh yeah, can you make me this? Can you do this? I'm like, yeah, let's try it out, and it was fun. It still feels like, a hobby, like something I enjoy doing. And it, even though I'm doing stuff for other folks, I enjoy it. It's fun.
And it has to feel like a hobby. That's another. You're dropping a whole lot of gems here for everybody, right? Once your passion starts to feel like work, then you have to switch it up, right? It always has to feel like a hobby. So
because then you get burned out. Yeah.
Exactly.
The burnout starts coming.
That's what we do when we actually go to work. When we're working 20, 30 years in the field, we're working 9 to 5, 40 hours plus a week, is we don't have that passion. If it's a job, it's probably supposed to feel like a job, because that's what it is, and you get burned out. Wow. So not only do you have that, right? But you have a product, an item called the
Yes.
UnderCoverClip. And not only did you patent and invent this, it is actually for sale. And
It is.
not just any store, but this is really, really phenomenal. In the Marine Corps Exchange, which if you guys don't know what that is, we have like these, it's basically like the department store of our military bases. So the Marine Corps Exchange would be like the department store on a Marine base. That is phenomenal. Like, what is this item and how did you become capable enough to get it in the exchange?
Well, I started from the beginning. I was in Hawaii. I was late for formation, right? You know, and I not late, right? But I was kind of just rolling up as the time was coming. Took off my sunglasses, and I had just bought some brand new Maui Jim sunglasses that have past weekend, $150, $200, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and I was gonna stick it in my pocket, but for some reason I put them in my cargo pocket. Unbeknownst to me at the time, I had like a screw in my cargo pocket, a couple like coins and stuff. And I'm going around talking to folks, you know, as you do after promotion formation, shaking hands, hey, congratulations. Meanwhile, my glasses are jingling in my pocket. I pull them out after the fact and it's all scratched up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, you know, if only I had put them somewhere else.
Right.
And that kind of caused the wheels to turn. Then I went upstairs, you know, over the course of the next few weeks, I'm here and you know, my artist bit kicks in right in my head and I'm start drawing and designing. And I have sketchbooks upon sketchbooks, even at work, of me just drawing ideas and things like that, measuring things and seeing, you know, I carry a little ruler with me everywhere I go just to see, just in case I'm like,
are you testing your soldiers with that ruler?
Well, you know, if it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, but you know, it all kind of worked out, right? I'm drawing it out and then I'm like, you know what, how am I going to do this? So I was stopped by Home Depot. Well, it was Hardware Hawaii because it was in Hawaii out there, the equivalent of like Home Depot. I was looking for like clips. I tried like to prototype it with binder clips and you know, whatever I can find, pieces of wood, things like that. And then I thought to myself, you know what, why don't I just, the library has a 3D printing machine. Why don't I get this thing designed? So I taught myself how to 3D design, you know, on a free website online. And what it is, and just for the viewers, it's a little plastic piece with a hook. You put it inside your Marine Corps 8-point cover because there's a little slot in there. And basically it just holds your sunglasses. It keeps your cover straight in the front and it just holds them safely inside your cover. So you don't have to stick them in your pocket. You can still wear your cover.
You mean hat.
By cover, I mean hat.
We do not say hat. We call it a cap in the Army.
There you go.
They call it a cover in the
cover. Yes. So, and you can even wear it with the sunglasses opened.
That's amazing.
And yeah, and I came out with another iteration, like a version 2, where you can hold an extra set of ranks in there. Inside a little plastic piece, right? So, but yeah, I taught myself how to 3D design. I started utilizing the resources around you, right? Started utilizing that library 3D printer. I was only allowed 1 3D print every week, so I was like, you know, I'm rushing it.
No.
Yeah, I'm rushing it, but it took so long because I had so many versions that I wanted to get through. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy my own 3D printer.
Wow.
And I did, and I, you know, started. I have just version upon version in the garage of just like different updates that I made just to get it perfected, right? And lo and behold, you know, I got it perfected. Started talking to or reading about patenting, and started doing the initial patent stuff myself. Talking to an attorney now to finalize that. But in the process of that, I showed it to. I sent the photo to a couple buyers. From the marine shop in Quantico, went to some tactical shops around Hawaii, around Virginia too. You know, just send them photos like, hey, look, I got this product. Would you be interested in carrying it in your shop? A couple no answers, a couple said yes. The marine shop said yes, of course, you know, we'll carry it. So I just sent out an order last week. And then the MCX was like, you know, it's a big company, right? So they were a little slow to pick it up, but they did. You know, it's supplied worldwide right now. I'm just waiting on them to do another order because I know it's like, you know, time's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, it's kind of been a blessing, but you know, I attribute that to, you know, going forward and actually trying to learn something. When I didn't have the knowledge, I'm like, you know what, I'm not just going to sit here and just let somebody else do this. Let
Right.
me try to find out how to do it myself and try to make it, you know. And you know, from one day to another, I became an inventor, you know, an inventor. Never thought I'd be capable of doing something like that, but you know, one thing led to another, and it happened. Just, you know, wanting to learn something, you know,
So
having
you went
that.
from artist,
Yes.
you capitalized off your artistry by becoming an entrepreneur, and then you capitalized off that by becoming an inventor. That is phenomenal.
Inventor,
I'm so proud of you, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Really, like you are obviously displaying a lot of characteristics, obviously capabilities, right? But persistence, confidence. I mean, those are things that, and not just that, learning, right? Trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to patent things, trying to figure out how to get your stuff into stores. But even before that, trying to figure out how to get, I forgot the word that you called it, and I'm having a brain cramp myself, but you know, just a little mock-up, right? Trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, the prototype. Yep.
The prototype, yeah. And I mean, you're first of all, no excuses, people. We have Google. Like
right?
Everything's on Google these days. So please,
everything.
You have an idea, Google, figure it all out. Do not give up on yourself or your ideas, because like Victor is telling you, all these things that he keeps on thinking in his head, it's coming to fruition for him because he is persistent in his goals and he is not giving up on them.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you for that.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
And you have a signature line art style. Now that I'm excited to talk about, because
yes.
I don't know if my husband, he can't hear me right now, but I purchased one of these from Victor. A, because I really love supporting people that I know. B, it is absolutely unique and it is fantastic. So obviously I'm going to be dropping all that in the interview, but you got to check this out. It is so phenomenal. How in the world did you even think of that concept? How did you even know to do this? It is so nice.
So it was my wife. Everything stems from my wife, right? So
that's good.
Yeah. So
that's
she
amazing.
showed me it. Yeah, she showed me a design. It was like you know, the grain on wood.
Yeah.
Right. She showed me this design one time, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if I can make.
I'm looking at wood grain now.
Portrait. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Look at the wood grain. Look at how it goes kind of down, different shapes, things like that. I wonder if I can make like a portrait out of like almost like a wood grain, right? And you know, just me doodling, drawing, and then it moved from, you know, I couldn't do it with a pencil, so let me try with a paintbrush. So I didn't want to do traditional like acrylic or oil paints. So I wanted, you know, kind of thinking outside the box. I'm familiar with, you know, Japanese art with calligraphy, things like that. So let me check out this sumi ink, right? So it's almost like a soot, you know, and you mix it with water, right? And it creates a deep black ink. So I'm like, yeah, you can make some beautiful designs with that. So I'm figuring, you know what, let me try this out. And at one point I had so much ink on the brush, it started to like kind of drip a little bit. So I'm like, you know, just dabbing it, and I'm like, something's coming to this, you know, so let me just keep on going. And all the while I had like a picture of like, I think it was like Biggie Smalls or something like that. I'm trying to draw him.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it might be on there, right? But that wasn't the first iteration. I mean, my first one was terrible. But you know, you learn how to, you know, do it, right? Yeah.
Perfecting your craft.
Exactly. So you just keep working and you practice on it, right? But yeah, I mean, that's how it came about. And I stuck with the sumi ink, the black ink, right? Only because, you know, it's just something different. Not everybody uses that. I didn't want to stick with, the acrylics or the water or
I love that about you. Just the
oil
things
paint.
that you're talking about is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to throw something out in the universe.
Sure.
Your art, I feel like it's going to, and like you said, you do not do what you do for money. You do what you do because you're an artist, and I feel this in my heart, and I'm moved. I have goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them. You see them?
I see them. I see them. Yep.
Your art is going to make you famous. You're going to be. Yes. I mean, I know that you're already in some art shows around Southern California, but I feel like you're going to be in more galleries around the world. I feel like you're going to be super wealthy from your art. I'm going to be so excited to display it in my house when I get my piece. But I mean,
appreciate it.
It's phenomenal how you have this method that you use. You just talked to us about, like, okay, you didn't want to do it like someone else would do it with acrylic paint, for example. And so you have this like Japanese product that you use that most people probably never even heard of, but I'm sure the Japanese appreciate, that you learned about it and you're using this. And I mean, I love your Muhammad Ali one. It is so phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
exactly like him. And I love I believe it was Mad Dog, right? The Marine General. Is that the one?
Oh, it was no, that was a Sergeant Major. I painted.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, his name is escaping me right now.
I know, me too.
I have it sitting in there. Yeah.
It is absolutely phenomenal, and they look.
I appreciate it.
Pulling them up because they look so much like the real people. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and I think the best thing about that is I have one sitting behind my desk, my office. If you stand too close to it, you have no idea what you're looking at. All you see is a bunch of lines. You really got to take a couple steps back to see the big picture, to see exactly what it does.
Right. This sounds like a proverb.
Yeah, and it is true, as in with life as well. You got to actually step back and take the whole thing in. Because if you stand too close to something, you're not going to be able to make it out.
I love that. Oh my God. Let me show. This is what he did. Oh
yeah, there you go.
This was the Sergeant Major. It is wonderful. Like by hand. He even has videos where he shows you his technique while he's doing it. This is phenomenal. I can't even draw stick figures. Like, I hate drawing 5-point stars. I am not good, But please, people, inner artists, find your inner art, right? Whether it is like where I grew up, I'm born and raised in St. Louis. A lot of girls know how to do hair. Capitalize off that. Get your LLC, get your money. Hair, first of all, it's expensive as heck to get your hair done. Capitalize on that. Cooking, baking, right? I don't care if you're selling plates from your house, as long as it's passing those inspections and you need gloves and you don't have your cats and your dogs in there and you rinsing your meat. Okay, I know that's up for debate, but like, figure it out. I get so like inspired when I see your stuff, or I see someone selling stuff online where it's like they're making a quilt, or like they're woodworking, or they're doing they're making tumblers. Like, I don't care what it is.
Yeah, it's a craft.
I love it. I love to see people winning. I really, really do. I don't know. I don't even have to know you. I'll just be buying stuff from people that I don't even need. I buy stuff from people to give to other people. I'm like, I honestly, my husband will tell you, like, he goes into the stores, right? He'll go to, his Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth Avenue to get gifts. He's a wonderful gift giver. Like, he gives you the perfect gift that you need at that time. He's wonderful. Nice. But he goes into the store. I don't know why I'm an extrovert, but I get anxiety going into the stores. So I scan my Facebook, friends, and I love to see what you guys have. I love to see, even if I don't personally need it, I want to see how I can support you. If I have someone I know who has a birthday coming up, I'm like, I don't really need what you're selling, but I got you. I'm going to support you because I have a friend who that'd be perfect for, I love to do that. I love to just,
that's awesome.
And about this, when you first get into business, it is hard. You don't know how it's gonna go, right?
Exactly.
Just keep going, because you never know. Don't give up on your goals and your dreams.
So many things to go, turn in motion, the marketing and the building of the business. It's tough. It is tough. But I think it's that portion that I like of it, just getting things started. I mean, once things are like in motion already, I'm like, I gotta, step this up a notch a little bit,
Exactly.
But yeah.
Take risks, right? You have to take risks.
Take risks. Yes.
And like you've already told us, so before I move past your bio, yes, people, we were still talking about his bio because he is booked and busy, okay? Like he said, he doesn't do the Side Hustle Military podcast anymore because he has a lot of stuff going on. So that's another thing that you have to remember is like the balance, right? You don't want to be involved in too many things that you can't focus on the things that you're most passionate about or the best at, right? You have to just learn how to cut some things off so that you can focus on those things that are a priority. So let's talk about this affirmation. I am capable, which clearly you have showed us that not only are you fully capable, but that, you know, we are too. Like you inspire me. I'm over here looking back here at my little business world in this downstairs. And I'm just like, I'm coming up with like some ideas. First of all, I'm trying to figure out, I think I know that you make stickers and I'd love to offer some stickers. So we're going to get together. Okay.
Yeah.
Got me hyped up now, which is exactly why I'm doing these series of talks to hype up other people, but it's even more awe-inspiring when the people I'm talking to are hyping me up. So this was good. So can you describe a situation that occurred in your life that really made you feel like you were in fact capable of anything?
Yeah. So I guess I can point that back to like before I even joined the Marines. It was I was working at a pizzeria, right? And I wasn't even thinking of the Marine Corps at all or anything like that at that point in time. My boss was a Air Force veteran, you know, but you know, in talking to her, and my demeanor wasn't the best at work, right? So we didn't really click. And when I brought that to work one day, it was like, hey, look, I'm thinking about joining the Marines. She looked at me, she brought me in the office and she said, you know what, you'll never make it. You know, you'll never make it in the Marines. You know, I know what it takes to be, you know, in the military. And that kind of, it's funny because I've thought of this situation a lot. And I'm like, I wish I remember this person's name so I can reach back out and say, hey, you know what? Hey, no offense taken. I just want to thank you because that's the push that I needed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. I mean, like, not even mad about it. You know, that's exactly what I needed. I needed to hear that from somebody. You can't do it. So what did I do? A week later, I'm like, hey, recruiter, yeah, give me what you got. Let me see what can you offer me? What can
Let your haters be your motivators.
Yes, exactly. So at the point in time, you know, I was a young man, and at that point in time, I was like, you know what, just cursing her out in my head, thinking, you know, who is she to tell me that I can't do something? But now that I look back on it, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And exactly like you said, let your haters be your motivators, right? You know, and that's with anything. I mean, that happens all the time. Oh, you can't do this. Oh yeah, well, let me prove you wrong.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to study my butt off, or I'm going to, you know, look this up, or, you know, whatever it is, and make sure it gets done. Right. So yeah, exactly like you mentioned.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, there are some people in life who need reassurance, like positive reassurance, like you got it, you can do it, you know. And then there's other people who they procrastinate a lot, and if you tell them you got it, you can do it, it's like that's not enough to really light the fire under them. So you have to tell them, like, you know, I don't really think that you cut out for it. And then it's like
the reverse psychology.
Exactly, that reverse psychology. Then they're like, you got me messed up. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do that. And matter of fact, I know I can. So now I'm going to prove you wrong. And then they do it. So, I mean, with 3 kids, you probably already know, like everyone has a different personality. So it's like, you have to, you know, figure out which one of those they are, and figure out how to motivate them. Because I'm telling you,
everybody has their own motivators. Everybody's got their own style of motivation, right? I mean, I know exactly. With 3 kids, I know exactly. You know,
my 17-year-old daughter, I definitely have to like provide that positive like encouragement. Just keep reassuring her all the time. You can do it. No, like, don't doubt yourself. You're capable. For me, I prefer somebody to just tell me that I can't, or act like they don't believe in me. Because that is, I don't need you to tell me I can't. Because guess what? I already know I can. I know I'm capable. Like, first of all,
I think I'm the same way.
Exactly. Yeah. I want you to hate on me, so I can show you. Because like my mama used to tell me when I was growing up, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah. I hear that. Yep.
Usually she would tell me that for something I probably did bad, but it worked. Oh my goodness. So, okay. So we did talk about the printing, the 3D printing a little bit. So I just wanted to tell people that not only did he tell himself that waiting 1 week to print a prototype, one prototype per week was not gonna work for him. So he bought his own 3D printer. He now has, years later, his own 3D printing room. Like, what is going on there?
Yeah, so that's I have a garage, thankfully a 2-car garage. Half of the garage is full of 3D printers. So I've got 6 right now.
Wow.
And they go, I got them going at all times.
Wow.
I just bought another one just a few months ago, a larger one, because I wanted to, scale up the size of the things that I'm making. But, it also serves as a project corner for me and the kids, right? And when I want to show them how to do something, hey, Dad, I want to create this. Well, I'm glad you said that. Let me show you how to make that, and then we'll work on it together.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. So but yeah, six 3D printers. Taught myself how to use them all. Sometimes they go down. Sometimes I got to fix them. So I got to teach myself how to do that, because I have a hard time paying somebody for something that I can do myself.
So trust me, Victor. I know. I'm doing that right now, and I'm having like I don't know if it's a moral dilemma, but it's like, okay, so I do the t-shirts, the affirmation tees for my business. And so you talked about it, right? You said you went out and you got the heat press and the vinyl lettering and all that. So that's basically like, what I use for my business now. I can do anything I set my mind to, especially if there's YouTube videos that I can sit there and watch and figure out. But I also, on the other end, I love to work with other small business people, especially, like my minority run businesses. I mean, obviously I will work with anybody. I mean, I'm not a discriminator or anything. But so I found this young lady. When I first decided I wanted to expand my business and do t-shirts, I didn't want to work with like a Custom-Eke or, like a big company. I wanted to work with someone small. So I'm like, okay,
small business.
You just have to be like, you have to actually be an LLC or a sole proprietor. Like, you have to have your own EIN, and you actually have to have no pets in your area that you work, right? Because obviously I would be mortified if I ordered something from someone and it came to my house with some cat hair or something like that, So that's all I asked. But the thing is, once we, obviously I buy the shirts, people order them, I drop them off to her and she prints them. But it's like the profit is like 60-40 at this point, right? Because I do want her to, I want to help expand her business, because she's about 10 years younger than me. She's in her like early mid 20s. And so, I love having her as like, my little partner now, but I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do this maybe a year max with her. Plus my husband's like, you don't have no time for that, especially until you retire, which I do retire from the Army next year. But anyways, not that it's about the money, but it's like, it's really easy and I could do it myself and I could actually save. And not only that, but like, for example, I just did family reunion teas and I had to charge $35 because the only way that I would make any sort of profit is by charging what I would charge for a custom tee. But if I didn't have to pay her $15, no offense, because girl, you deserve your $15, then I could have charged $20, which is what I would have preferred to charge for the family reunion teas, because it's a family reunion, for goodness sake, So so I totally get you, because I don't really like paying people for stuff that I would do myself, hence why my nails are just polished and chipped on the end, because I can do that myself. Now these toes, my husband does those for me.
Okay, all right.
And these eyebrows, I got those done about 3 years ago, and they just kind of been stuck. So sometimes I'll get some help.
I got you. I'm one of those YouTubers myself, and if I can do it myself, I'm going to do it myself.
Right. Well, especially with, like the little cosmetics right now, the only reason why I do that myself is because, as you know, being in the military, you have a lot of restrictions. And it's like, I want to go wild. So when I do retire, yeah, I'll be up in the salon. But for now, it's like, I'd rather just save
Right
my
now,
money.
yeah.
I can't even have white tips up my nails. But I ain't complaining because y'all just gave us a whole lot and we're going to take it. I ain't complaining. Thank you so much because I do rock my ponytail sometimes in uniform and I appreciate it. But anyway, what advice would you give someone? I know I'm crazy. I can't help it. I know they don't let y'all rock the ponytails in the Marines. Y'all got the best damn
not at
buns
all.
ever. I'm telling you, those female Marine buns are, I mean, look, when Army female, when I see a Marine female walking by her bun, and I know my bun used to be tight and nice, but I just look at the female Marine buns and I'm like, how early did you wake up to do that bun? I mean, not a hair out of place. And then I watched the video and the girl, it took her so long, but I mean, it was perfect. She was using dental floss and everything to smooth the back. I'm like, damn, that's why they so perfect because y'all don't play. I love, shout out to all the Marines, especially the females, because y'all, hoorah, right?
See me, I taught myself how to cut my own hair, so I've been doing that for 19 years.
Well, I don't blame you because they don't play in the Marines. I mean, the Army, they're a little more lenient with us. Sorry, Major in the Army, don't be judging me for saying that. But honey, they don't play the Marines. Y'all mean.
Every week, yeah.
I'm serious. I'm glad I didn't. I'm telling you, I would have had carpal tunnel a long time ago if I was in the Marines just from having to do that bun. And traction alopecia is real. Okay, so stop making those buns so tight. I need help. So what advice would you give someone who didn't really feel capable? I mean, first of all, if they actually listened to and read into every word that you spoke during this entire interview, then they will have already learned some things. But if you could give them direct advice, what would you say to them?
So I would say that that we as humans, right, we are far more capable than we give ourselves credit for, right? I mean, when you wake up in the morning, you choose your own path, right? You can either wake up on time or not wake up on time, right? So you're capable of making decisions. You're capable of making choices, right? It's just a matter of, are you going to do that or not? You know, so but it all starts out with your mindset, right? So you have to be some sort of self-motivated, I think, to be able to do things. Or you can have somebody who tells you you can't do it, and then that's your motivation. But yeah, I mean, it's all about choosing your own path and knowing that you are far more capable than you give yourself credit for. I never thought that I would do some of the things that I ever did, invent this product, do a couple, this podcast. But also don't limit yourself, try things out. And there's nothing wrong with that. How many times I failed, I couldn't even put a number on that. But I see it as a fun thing, right? Maybe it's just because I'm silly, but and I don't, and I don't take failure to heart, right? I just, as they say, take it as a lesson learned.
That's right. I always say, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yes. So I fail and I start again, and I laugh it off, brush myself off, and
okay,
let's go for round two. Yeah, boy, there you go. And then and start again. Let's go for round two. Let's see what we can do.
That's right.
But it's like a game for me. I don't take it to heart. I don't get overly angry about things like that. You just have to know that you have the ability to do these things. It's just, it has to come from you. It has to come from you wanting to learn. It has to come from you wanting to focus and achieve that craft or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And definitely, and don't necessarily rely on the people around you. Like sometimes your friends are your friends because you're on the same level as them. Oftentimes when you start to elevate yourself, then you will notice that the people around you start to act different. They start to act jealous or they withdraw. And that's because a lot of times, people don't want to see you doing better than them. So if you have friends around you who don't support your ideas, your goals, your aspirations, then you have to, there's a time in your life where you might have to be okay with being alone just so you can explore your goals. And sometimes it's also your family too, right? Because sometimes we have family who are afraid of our success because they're afraid of losing us. They're afraid of us going too far away. So they tell us that we're not capable because they don't want us to grow. They don't want us to stray too far. I am not about to tell y'all my business, but I do have supportive parents and also, but I'm telling you, it could be the people closest to you that will try to deny your capabilities because they want to keep you where you are so that you're right there with them forever. So if y'all have people like that in your lives, get rid of their ass.
Yes. Yeah. It's really important to surround yourself with a good support system.
Exactly.
I think so. Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, I want to make sure that people know where they can find your art. So your Instagram is at VT, like Victor Tango, right? For you military
That's
people,
right.
or people, who just know the phonetic alphabet. So VT, capital letters, De La Flor, DELAFLOR, and no problem because I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen anyways. So we're going to have that there. And then let's see. Where else do we need to look to find you and keep up with what you're doing? Because you got a whole lot going on. First of all, if you are a Marine or any kind of soldier with a cap or a cover, as he says, go into the MCX military, the Marine Corps Exchange. Where else can you find those?
So you can find those at where?
You said like tactical shops?
Yeah. So I got them in tactical shops in Hawaii. I mean, locally, it's going to be in Virginia, the Marine Shop, which is in Quantico, or just online. That's probably the easiest place to find it. www.undercoverclip.com.
Awesome. Yeah, not undercover cop, undercoverclip.com.
Yes.
Go and get you one of those so that you don't scratch up your $150 Ray-Bans or, other fancy glasses that you wear. And hopefully they're within rigs and don't just be having stuff all crazy on there. Y'all know I'm trying to be super fly in uniform.
That's right. That's right.
So your quote, you say, I could actually, if you never even told me what your quote or tagline would be, I probably would have just figured it out because you're already doing the work right now.
Do the work. That's it.
Do the work.
Do the work because nobody else is going to do it for you. So
that's right.
Do the work.
Yep, because if they're going to do it for you, then that means that they're going to take the money that you would have otherwise earned.
That's their credit then, right? So, I mean, it's a simple quote. I mean, you pass it down to your kids, somebody else who needs the motivation. Hey, just do the work. I mean, receive the credit too, but also pass on the knowledge, right, to the next generation or the next soldier down, because it just feels good to pass on these teachings. Don't just hold it all for yourself, right?
Right.
Pass it on.
Right.
But ultimately, do the work. That's my big thing. Yeah.
Don't be a knowledge hoarder. Be a knowledge sharer. Okay. Yes. And do the damn work. All right. He said a lot nicer than Kim Kardashian said. I don't think she said it mean. Thank you so much, Victor. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thanks for talking to me. I'm definitely going to hit you up about those stickers and about that vinyl printing machine. My husband's going to kill me if I put something else in his basement because now it's his office, my office, the workout room. Now it's all compartment.
Yeah. I got the same thing. I got the stuff in the kitchen, garage, everywhere.
He gonna kill me, but I'm gonna tell him you maybe do it.
Hey, don't throw me out there. No.
I'm about to do the work.
Yes.
Have a good day. Enjoy California.
Hey, you too. Thank you. Good talking to you.
You too. Hi there. It's me, Jessica, again, coming to you with a final thought. I hope you enjoyed this affirmation conversation with Victor. He is literally the jack of all trades. I'm super proud of him and all of his accomplishments. And I'm really proud of him for realizing his capabilities, which is exactly what I want you to do for yourself. Like Victor says, you can be a dreamer, but you have to also be a doer, right? You have to put in the work. It's okay to dream. You should dream. Dreaming is amazing. Helps you to manifest the things in your life that you want, the things that are for you. But you got to put in the work. You have to have an intention and you have to stay determined. Continue to keep an open mind about everything. I know this is kind of cliche, but I think about this all the time. Instead of asking, why me? I try to flip it and ask, why not me? When I think that I can't do something in life. I try to find my natural gifts and work towards improving and excelling in those areas. So I highly recommend you do the same. Stop caring about what other people think. If you're listening to this, you're probably an adult anyways. And if you're not, that's cool too. But we're really still out here caring about what people think. We shouldn't be. We should not be caring about what people think unless we're doing something detrimental or harmful to society, ourselves, or other people. Obviously, that's totally different. But otherwise, be you, carve your own path, but you have to stay focused and keep moving forward on that path. Don't stay still. You're capable of doing things that nobody thought you could. Hell, you're capable of doing a lot of things that you never imagined that you could. But you have to stay in your mind. You have to be out of your comfort zone. Stay out of your comfort zone. Step outside of it. Embrace it. Embrace discomfort and no negative self-talk. Be positive. You are capable. Watch out now. You're coming.